Good morning, everybody. This is Lainey from Hilltop Home Place. I'm out here this morning. It's Monday, November 25th, and today is the day I'm going to try to fix my pipe leaks in my sewer system. I believe that on each end of my sewer line, which I'm going to show you in a minute, that it was hit probably by our lawnmower, and because it didn't have any issues, and all of a sudden when we started mowing in the spring, I all of a sudden have issues. So I'm going to try to do this today by myself if I can. I had a lot of time yesterday, but it was Sunday and my hardware store wasn't open, so I couldn't go buy things I needed. I don't know what I need till I dig up the dirt and see what size lines I have and everything. So I wanted to do this and dig it all up when I knew my hardware store was open. To recap, here is a big pump system that I have out in my backyard. I'm working right now on pulling up weeds and cleaning off debris so that I can deal with it. I have a little leak somewhere up in here because water runs out and it makes a big wet spot out here in my yard. So there's some kind of small leak at this end of the pipe. And then if you follow the line, you'll start noticing it's concaving there along the line. And down here is where my sprinkler system is for my discharge, and I definitely have an issue up in there somewhere because my sprinkler works and water does come out, but I have a big geyser that erupts whenever it's ready to activate. The geyser erupts first and sends a bunch of water just kind of shooting straight up, and then whatever's left over gets shot out in the sprinkler system. So I have a leak on this end really bad. But at least my sprinkler's not broke. It's just a pipe leak up in here somewhere. So I have to dig this up. And this part used to not be concaving. It is now. I don't know if that's just normal erosion or if I have other leaks in this pipe somewhere. But I'm definitely needing to get this fixed. The water runs to this processing system from my big concrete MODAD system I have over here, my sewer system. And the water to that system comes from the front of the house, the corner over there, where you see my sewer trunk line that comes out of the house. So this system right here is actually powered by electricity. There's the switch over there and the plug, and it filters, it runs a motor and filters out the remaining part of your water that didn't get filtered there. It's like a double filter system. And then according to our code here, once that last part is filtered through, it shoots it down this line and it shoots it to 3 sprinklers that I have. I have 3 sprinklers across the back, say 60 feet, 80 feet of my yard, and it spews it out. So I'm gonna have to turn off this. I'm just gonna unplug it here in a minute. I'm gonna unplug it and turn it off because I don't want these sprinklers shooting out anything while I'm working. But right now, I'm just going to get busy trying to dig up this line and clear out any grass or weeds so that I can deal with whatever I'm dealing with. I am not a how-to channel. I'm figuring this stuff out as I go. I may be doing things wrong sometimes, but I'm trying to show, I guess maybe other women or even men that haven't tried something before, that maybe, just maybe, you can do it on your own and not call a repairman and not spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars, if possible. If possible. I don't deal with anything electric. I'm not going to. I don't want to. I don't even want to learn it, okay? I don't even want to learn it. My life is too valuable and my time is too precious for me to go fooling with electric projects. I kind of don't mind knowing how things work though, because I think it's valuable to learn how things work. But I'm not ready to take on electrical projects by myself right now. But things like this, I will try. If I goof it all up, it's not that hard for somebody to come in behind me and help me fix it, especially since I've dug up the trench for them. I think half your battle a lot of times is labor, so I'm doing my best. One of my sweet viewers, whenever I was talking about doing this project on another video, she commented on the video and she said, "Lainey, call the man." And I knew what she was talking about. on Andy Griffith, their big chest freezer wasn't working, and Aunt B had bought this. I just dug this up. Wonder if that has anything to do with what's going on. Anyway, Aunt B had bought 150 pounds of meat and her chest freezer went out, but she didn't want to tell Andy about it because she had bought the meat from kind of a shady person, and then she didn't want Andy to have to pay to fix the freezer on top of paying for the meat. So she tried doing things herself and getting Opie to help. Next thing you know, she's hiring Gomer to help, and the freezer never got fixed. And Andy kept telling her over and over, just call the repairman. Aunt B, call the man, call the man. And she kept saying, no, it's going to cost too much money. We can do this ourselves. Finally, they had to call the man. Well, finally, I think they figured out they had to just get a new freezer. Andy called the man, and the man said it's pretty much shot. So when my viewer said, Lainey, call the man, I knew exactly what she was talking about. I knew exactly. But I told her, I said, well, like Aunt B, I'm a little bit hard-headed, just a little bit. I don't mind calling the man. It's just, I figure things are going to come up like this the rest of my life. And it's like, why not learn to just fix it and deal with it? And then you don't have to always call the man. So that's what I'm doing. And that's why I'm filming this. I'm not going to film every little shovel dig. I know it gets boring, but I just wanted to talk about that. That's why I film these things. I fixed my sink the other day. I researched it, and I fixed my bathroom sink leak. I had a leak under my sink. I have a video on that if you want to watch it. But you know what? I check it every few days, and it's still doing fine. It's still doing fine. And as far as I'm concerned, I fixed it. I didn't have to call the man. I got out there and I fixed it myself. And I feel so good when I do stuff like that. Like, I'm so proud. And it's kind of like, I guess, when your kids are little, yes, it's more trouble sometimes to let your kids help with things. But when you do let them help, look at this. These worms and stuff, I'm sure they love this water over here by this sewer. I need to transfer some of them to my garden beds. But anyway, when you let your kids or grandkids help with something, they just swell up with pride, and it gives them so much a sense that they did something. And it's like, I kind of feel that way when I do this. It's like I'm able to tell somebody I had an issue, and they say, oh, well, I know a guy, you know, whatever. And I say, no, I did it myself. I fixed it. I got out there and fixed it. That is such a good feeling. It is such a good feeling. It's kind of hard to tell, but our trailer sits on middle ground, I guess you would say. Our front yard is extremely high. Then our trailer sits on middle ground, and then our yard slopes. It slopes downhill from there toward a little side road. So as I'm digging, this pipe is sloping, which of course it needs to be on a slope to have proper drainage to send it to the sprinklers. As you can tell, I'm having to go a good bit deeper. This was real easy up here a while ago. I'm having to go at least, I guess that's about 8 inches or so. And then if it keeps on sloping, I guess this pipe is going to be a foot underground over here. I really didn't realize that when I started. I thought it was all going to be kind of shallow. So it's taken me a little while. That's the nature of it, I guess. I know a lot of people might be saying, well, you don't have to dig it all up. Just fix each end where your leaks are. And yes, that's true. That's true. I could do that. But I'm trying to learn how all this works. I'm trying to learn how my systems work. And right here, just to the left of that dirt clod, is a joint. And I'm assuming there's no, let me get closer where you can see. It's where this end of the pipe has a little bit wider opening, and it just slips onto this end. I don't know if they put pipe dope or anything on that to seal it, but what I have discovered while I'm digging is that this section here was very wet the dirt I'm pulling up out of the ground is very wet, right where that joint is. So I'm thinking to myself that that joint is not very solid. Now, I don't know if that's causing the wetness that I see sometimes over here. That connection looks okay to me, and that dirt doesn't look all sopping wet. So I'm thinking I might have a little seepage where this concrete lid sits on top of the system. If that's the case, leak on, baby, because I can't move it. There's no way I'm gonna be able to adjust that concrete lid with all this stuff connected to it and everything. So it's just a little leak. It just kind of makes wet soil up in here sometimes. I'm not gonna worry about it. All right, there's the sprinkler. There's my trench. This has been an adventure. I did it in 2 shifts. I had to stop, go get Richard lunch. I actually had to bathe Richard. I ate me a snack and then I came back out. By the time I got to this end, it's hard for y'all to tell, but that's about 1.5 feet deep. So then it comes down into this pipe here. The thing is, I don't see any major cracks or anything. I'm really not sure. I expected to uncover like a pipe separated or something, because when this thing kicks on, it's like a geyser. So I brought a bottle of water out here. I'm gonna pour it on this just to see if I can clean this up just a little bit. And then I'm gonna actually go plug my system back in. I washed clothes a while ago and I bathed Richard, so I've had a lot of water build up in the system, and I feel like these sprinklers will cut on here shortly. But let me see if there's anything that I'm missing here. I don't know. I've got to see where it's actually doing this at. So let me go cut it back on. It may take a little while to boot up, but I'm gonna be sitting out here when it does. That actually didn't take 1 second. Okay. It's fixing to come towards me. Okay, I see where it's the sprinkler itself that is blowing the gasket. Completely different than what I thought. It's the sprinkler itself way up right by where it connects to the sprinkler. Let me jump this little line of water here. The water kind of drowned out my words on this part, so I thought I'd voice it over. But what I observed was I thought all the water was coming out directly below the little cap where the sprinkler sits. Later on, I figured out that wasn't exactly right, but that's what my observation was at this point. I'm thinking, maybe I should have called the man. But at least I know where it's leaking. I'm going to unplug it. I'm going to let it do its thing here so that the water gets out of the system. It'll soak in the ground, I hope, a little bit. I'm going to think about this and figure out what I have to get to fix this. Okay. We're back from our ride. It's only like 5:30 in the afternoon, but it's already getting dark. Got my solar lights cutting on the ramp. All right, what I'm gonna do, because when I went inside a while ago to get ready to leave, I heard on the news that we're supposed to have some type of little cold front come through here tonight. And it's bringing a little small line of rain, but supposed to rain. Not stormy weather, but supposed to rain. And I'm sitting here with an open trench. I did not think that we had rain coming. That never entered my mind because of how our weather's been. Okay, I'm gonna just see. I'm putting this flashlight here on this. I'm just gonna see if this cap is just somehow unscrewed or something. I'm just hoping it's a simple solution. The water was coming out from right under here. Grass out of the way. I was just able to twist it a little bit. A while ago, a little was coming out on this side. Then, that big geyser was coming out on this side. But it was all coming out right here. I don't feel any gashes or anything. I just think this... I'm just wondering if turning it those couple of turns would help. I'm going to dry my hands off, and I'm going to plug that sewer thing back in and just see if it goes off. I'm just going to see if this will work. Yeah, I got that unplugged. I was going to say the plug's out, but I did that. I'm going to come over here. Okay, now I can see better. It's coming out a long stream. Let me get over here. So my goal was to tighten the lid a little bit, because a while ago when I saw it coming out, my interpretation was it was just spewing out from under that cap. It wasn't until I was out here now, I guess with the flashlight flashing on it and with it, being able to be more visible to me, I see it's a long line coming out of a seam of that thing. So apparently it's cracked. That's okay. I figured this out. What I can do, I can go by my hardware store tomorrow. I'm going to get down there and feel this a little bit better in just a second. But if I feel a crack or something, I can see if my hardware store carries this. Probably don't. And what I'll do is I will call the man that put this sewer system in. He's very, very nice. He helped me at my old house on Camp Joy, and he's helped me here. And what I'll do is I will ask him if he has another one of those little systems, little cup systems. And I'll see, if it's something that I can pop off and buy from him and then just put back on. I would have had to spend money on pipe if it was a pipe or couplings and all that stuff. So you always have to spend a little something. You need a few parts here and there. But the top part seems to be okay. The bottom part, it seems to be where it's split wide open. I'm just gonna see if I can get him to help me with it. It's too late tonight, and I've done filled this little hole back up with water from the sewer. So I'm not gonna worry about it tonight. I'll get out here tomorrow in the daylight and I can see good, and I'll just see if I can undo that and then clean it off real good and see if I can call him and go get another one from him. Good morning. It's Tuesday, November 26th. I'm back out here this morning to deal with this situation. A lot has happened though. What I did was I emailed my sewer company last night. I had his wife's email. That's how we communicated. It's just a small family company. And I emailed her and told her what was going on. And I asked her, did they have any of the parts for the sprinklers? And if they didn't, could she please tell me where I could go buy it? And she emailed me back last night. It was about 9 o'clock last night. She emailed me back and said, yeah, we have the spare parts. She said, just come by our house today and get them. It's going to be $15 for the replacement parts. I don't know how it's going to be for that sprinkler head. So I'm going to go ahead and buy 2 of them. Number one, I'm going to go ahead and buy an extra just in case I break this one or something happens to it. And number 2, I will put the other one in storage if nothing happens to this one, and I'll have a spare just in case a year from now, 10 years from now, whatever, I end up with another sprinkler issue like this. I just thought while I'm there today, I'll go ahead and buy 2 of them. So that'll be $30. What I decided to do on the other end where I have the 2 pieces of pipe just kind of sleeved together, what I'm gonna do is I've got my silicone canister here with my gun from fixing my sink the other day. And I'm gonna come out here and clean off this pipe and get the mud off of it and everything, dry it real good. And then I'm just gonna put a little bead of silicone around the edge of that. Now, it'll make it pretty much sealed. So if something does happen later on, I would probably have to sawzall my pipe and fix it, you know, and get that joint out of there. But I don't think anything is gonna happen. So I'm gonna fix that with this. And then it's buried about 6 to 8 inches under the ground. So I don't think just driving our mower across it is gonna crack our pipe or anything. I thought that was what was gonna happen with all of this, but apparently I was wrong. And what had happened was our sprinkler system had just simply blown a gasket. It had just simply split. I don't know, the pressure of the water or something. Maybe it did get hit by the lawnmower at the top of the sprinkler. Maybe that's what it was, but it had nothing to do with my PVC. That's held up well with our lawnmower. So I'm gonna silicone this end. I can't go get the part to the other end, to the sprinkler, until late this evening. I could go get it anytime today, but the lady said that if I would wait and come later this evening, her husband would be home and he would tell me what I needed to do or answer any questions I had about it. So I'm going to take that free offering of the advice that they're giving me to let him talk to me about it before I fix it. He's willing to do that if I just wait till later in the day to come. So I'm willing to do that. So this will actually roll into a 3rd day thing. So that's okay. It'll take as long as it takes. I didn't end up getting any rain last night, and they're not calling for any rain today. So my little trench is dried out. It's drained and dried out, and I feel like it's going to be fine. I could just wait till tomorrow to actually put that part on. While I'm cleaning this, guess what I found? Let me wipe this off and I'm going to show you. I know it's bright out here, but here's where the pipes were connected. This is the part I was going to silicone, but when I cleaned the mud off, I found a little sawzall gash in this pipe right here. And I think that might be the issue. This might be exactly what's going on here. There's probably some water that just oozes out of this little gash in my pipe. It's easy to do when they didn't measure it to the right length or whatever, so then they decided to cut it here, or really back here, and hit it with their saw, and it left a little gash. I don't know if that's exactly where the water's coming from, but I'm gonna put silicone on that. And this, it's so hard to show things on camera, and especially in this glare. There you go, I could show it a little better like that. You see how there's white oozing out? There's white oozing out of there. They do have some type of caulking in there, some type of putty. So I think that this is sealed. I think this is the issue right here. So I'm gonna put a little silicone on that right now and just be done with it. It shouldn't affect any future repairs or anything. It should be fine as long as I just get this crack sealed up. So that's an easy fix. I'm gonna do that real quick and call this a win. Okay, I applied the caulk to it, and I'm just gonna leave it kind of puffed up like that. I'm not worried about smoothing it out. I'd rather just know that it's in the crack and it's gonna do its job. Good morning, it's day 3 of this repair. I explained to you why day 2 was kind of a wash, but it's day 3. I got 2 canisters yesterday from my sewer installer who did the system for me. I bought 2 new canisters. It just got compromised, that other one. These were $15 each, as I explained, and I bought 2 just to have one in the hole in case anything happens. I don't want to have to go running to his house every time I need something. So I bought 2. But for this repair, it's technically only $15 if this works and takes care of everything. I wanted to show you a little utensil I'm going to use just to try to help me with this, because I tried to unscrew the other one that's screwed onto this PVC and I can't get it off. So I have a little handy little item in my house that I use a lot for jars, because I guess with my arm strength and with my age and with sometimes my hands hurting me, I just always can't open things. So I found a little something that I use and I love it. I have this set of 3 jar openers. You put them on the jar and then you turn them left or right, whatever you need to do, and they grip on there. And I don't know how, but it just makes it so much easier for me to open jars. Hasn't been anything yet I haven't been able to open with these. I was going to show you, I ordered them from Pine Tree Seed Catalog, Pine Tree Seeds. It's www.superseeds.com. But I also looked on the internet, and they're available through Amazon or Walmart. I'm just gonna push the Pine Tree Garden Seeds, not because I'm affiliated in any way, but just because you can support a smaller seed company by ordering them from them. And they're on sale right now for $9.95 for the set. And I saw online that they were around that too. They were $9.95, but some of them were up to $14.95. So, you know, you could get you some seeds while you're at it and get it all shipped together. But anyway, these things are a lifesaver. And I'm thinking this middle one is going to be what I need to help me with this canister. Let me see. I'm assuming it turns lefty-loosey. Let me see what I can do. Go down here to the bottom. Oh, there we go. See, with my hand, I couldn't do it. You put this on there, and it just, I don't know what it does, but it has just enough tension to work. That seemed so simple. Yesterday with my hand, I couldn't get it to move. Okay, he told me it just unscrews, which he's correct. And under there, if I wanted to take this black piece off, that white piece you see there, that's actually a filter. And he showed me yesterday how, if I ever want to, I can undo this and clean the filter. And he said I would know if I needed to do it if the water's not shooting straight out. It's kind of split, you know, like something's clogging it up. So anyway, this one's going in the garbage and the new one's clean, so I'm not going to worry about that right now. But that is a filter under there that maybe I need to pay more attention to and change, and not change, but clean out every so often. So that's something good I learned yesterday. Okay, I'm going to screw this one back on. I'm praying the pressure that's built up doesn't. I'm going to put this back on there and anyway, I'm praying the pressure that's built up in my system doesn't somehow compromise this one, but I can't worry about it. I just have to turn it all back on in a minute and see what happens. I put this silicone on this gash here yesterday, and it's pretty, it's not real tacky. It seems to have kind of hardened a lot. I left it on there yesterday and all night uncovered. So I'm just gonna skip the duct tape and just kind of cover it with dirt in a minute, but I'm gonna make sure everything works first. This plug is so low to the ground, and I can't hardly see to get it plugged back in. But here we go. Let me see what happens. Oh gosh. Okay. First thing I noticed is my little thing here. That is where the thing was compromised, and my silicone did not help. So I've got to fix that. Down here though, perfect. Perfect. Nothing's leaking out the bottom. It's oscillating. He said I could adjust the directions. I can do that even after I cover it up with dirt though. It's something to do with that purple part on the top, so I can adjust that later. But it's oscillating. You see, it's coming towards me right now. It's gonna have to move. Okay. So I'm happy about this. It's going away from me, so I'm going to change directions here. All right, but this right here, y'all, I was right. I was right. That is exactly where the water was leaking underground, and that is exactly why my soil was wet. So this part I do have to fix. Let me unplug it again to get this water from, I don't want this trench filling up. Okay. I'm gonna go in my house to get my tape measure. I can't just look at pipe like that and tell exactly how many inches that pipe is. I'm gonna go to the hardware store and I'm gonna get a few feet of that pipe, and I'm just gonna splice and fix it correctly. I'm not gonna try to silicone it. Obviously the pressure in it is so high that it just blew open that silicone I had put on there, which that happens. I understand that. It's a pressurized system. It runs off of motors and stuff. So, you know, simple fix just wasn't going to do it on that one. So I'm going to fix it the correct way, but that's okay. I know what I got to do now. I know what I got to do. I knew there was something leaking under that ground. I knew, and I had isolated that spot, and I feel good that I didn't just fix the sprinkler and think my problems were solved, because I had a leak underground and it was going to do that in perpetuity. So I've got the two issues now identified and I can fix them. I know I can fix them. I'll clue you in later just to show you the final fix, but right now I'm feeling really good about that sprinkler and so happy that at least part of the problem has been addressed. Just to kind of show how sometimes these things aren't real easy, is I measured the pipe to be 1 5/8 inches, and it was a little bit bigger than that, and I thought, well, I'll go in there and ask for 1 5/8 to 1 3/4, just kind of seeing what they had. And but when I went in, they're like, they don't make pipe that size, and so they had 1 1/2 inch pipe, and I feel like that's probably what I have. It's just the way I tried to measure it really good, but I feel like some of this stuff is so standard that if 1 1/2 is kind of what they're saying they sell for things like this, then that's probably what it is. So I went ahead and bought 3 feet of 1 1/2 inch pipe and 2 couplings to go with it. What I'm going to do is cut on one side of that gash, and I'm going to go ahead and cut to the other side of the pipe on the other side of that connecting joint that I showed y'all yesterday, because the gash is so close to that connecting joint that it just seems silly to me to try to fix it right up against that connecting joint. It's like, why not just cut on either side of it and fix either end of it, and you know, so make just a clean splice between the two pipes that have no issues, no couplings and no gashes. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to end up using about 2 foot of this pipe, but I went ahead and got 3 foot just for extra. And I'm going to get my Sawzall out in a little while, and I'm going to do that. But this cost me, I bought a little canned drink with it, and it was $12. So I guess this cost me total about another $10. I'm $25 into this project, you could say, just round it off to $25 into this project. So it's still better than calling the man. Quick update, I had to go get a can of pipe dope. I got all the way back to my house a while ago and realized I had forgotten to get that. So that was $8.83. So we're going to just round it off to $10 and say I'm $35 into this project, because I have burned a little gas. So $35 is where I stand right now. Still better than calling the man, but you know, it's run my time into the ground, so I have to think about that next time. But anyway, that's where I'm at right now, $35 into this, and a little more time to fix it here shortly, and then I'm hoping I can just call this a wrap and cover my trench back up, because I heard the lady in the hardware store say that we're expecting rain tomorrow. So I have to get this done and cover this trench back up by dark today, or at least right after dark, and get this taken care of. Brought my smaller little can opener out here to help me open this jar, because I just can't open these things from a fresh seal. It's getting harder and harder at my age, so these little things come in handy. Wipe these ends off and clean them really good. Okay, see if I can get this open. Let's see. You can flip them over. If you don't have enough room to grip something, you can flip them over. There we go. Love it, love it. I'm gonna make sure this fits. Oh my God. Okay, I could hide this problem or I could just tell you about it. When I measure this pipe across, it's 1 5/8 inches. Apparently, and I didn't really realize this, I guess what they're measuring when they talk about pipe is just this opening. So I guess it technically is 1 1/4 inches. I would have never bought 1 1/4 inches because I was measuring 1 5/8 inches out here. So this pipe I bought a while ago is too big. Now that's not the end all do all. It's not like I have to go rebuy my pipe, but my problem is the couplings, because they fit on each end 1.5 inch pipe. I'm gonna go back to the hardware store, not my hardware store that's right down the road, because it closed at 1 o'clock for Thanksgiving. I'm gonna go to the other one up the road. They're open to 5:30, and I either have to just scrap all this and get 1 1/4 inch stuff, couplings and pipe, or if they have the couplings in stock that are 1.5 inches on one end and 1 1/4 inches on the other end, that will solve my problem. I can still use this pipe. I'll just have to have a smaller end that this fits on, and then it widens to fit this pipe. I'm hoping they have the couplings and I can just be done with it, and I can actually take these back to where I just bought them. I've got the receipts, and they actually told me if I got home and this didn't work, I could bring them back. I can't bring the pipe back because they cut it for me, and you just can't return cut pipe, which I get. So my goal is to try to just use this pipe. But if I get to the other store and all they have is 1 1/4 inch fittings, I'm gonna have to go ahead and pay for more pipe. I'll still be able to take these back tomorrow. I'm not sure what all they cost, but probably, you know, $4 each, $3 each, something like that. So I could get my money back on that. So that's where I'm at. Here I am, still in a jam. So I've got to go back to the other hardware store. Just nothing about it. I'll see y'all in a little while. Okay, I'm back. I actually kept the two things I had bought earlier, these 1.5 inch things. They'll fit on this end of the pipe and on that end of the pipe. The man was telling me they had reducers. These are called reducers. And they slip in to this end of the pipe, and then this end is your 1 1/4 inch end. That will go down there on that pipe. So I didn't have to buy brand new couplings. I just bought these reducers, and that should work. Okay, it says allow 15 minutes to dry, so I'm just gonna pick up my stuff and go put my Sawzall up and everything and give this about 15 minutes to dry before I start. I'll run a test in a little bit. I'll turn that water back on and run a test through this motor system, and I'm praying that it's okay. I'm praying that everything is gonna be tight and leak free and that I'm done with this. So that's my prayer. Let's see how it works out. All right, I'm gonna plug it in and I'm gonna let y'all see the live shot and let's see what happens. out the system there with air. I don't see any water. Let me just walk over here and make sure. I don't see any drips, any water or anything coming out here. All right. And of course this, I'm just gonna double check because a while ago it did fine. I'm just gonna make sure. All right. I don't see anything leaking. See a little dripping over there, but that's just from the water that's already been sprayed that direction, just dripping down off the faucet. Y'all, I did it. I did it. I did my own work. I didn't have to call the man. I didn't have to call the man. All right. This looks good. Still no drips. I don't see anything. I don't see anything. Oh, okay. Okay, done deal. 41 bucks versus 225 plus parts or something. 41 bucks. I did it. This has been a long video. Appreciate y'all hanging in there with me. I kind of wanted to show you every little thing that went wrong because that's what happens when you do these problems sometimes, but you can figure them out. And I had a nice little man at the hardware store that just suggested those reducers a while ago. I didn't even think about that. I was just thinking the coupling had to be, and they do make the couplings like that, but they didn't have any. So he was like, oh, just put a reducer on it. Simple solution. Otherwise, I was gonna buy 2 1.25" couplings and buy more pipe. And I didn't need to do that. And he saved me a lot of money. So this would have been a $35 job had I not messed that up. I hear the water coming behind me. This would have been a $35 job. It turned into a $41 job because I mismeasured my pipe. But see, now I know how next time to measure the pipe. Measure it on the inside, not on the outside. All in all, I can say I'm thankful I got it done. I'm thankful I learned this new skill. I'm thankful for all that. But I'm also thankful that the problem came up because I know how to fix it now. I'm thankful I've got a sewer to fix. I'm thankful I've got a nice home that this sewer runs out of, and that if something happens, I'll be able to figure it out. I'm so thankful that when I walk inside in a minute, I'm gonna have water to run, refrigeration. I'm gonna have heating and air, whatever we need to make our lives comfortable. We've got all that, and I'm thankful for that this year, especially when I know so many are struggling and so many are living in conditions right now that I can't even imagine. And it shouldn't be happening this way. We all need to help our neighbors. We all need to get these situations figured out. And by learning these skills, maybe I'll be able to help a neighbor save some money at some point. Nothing you learn ever goes to waste. Nothing. This is Lainey from Hilltop Home Place. I hope y'all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I truly, truly just send my blessings to everybody out there. Thank y'all so much for following my journey. Thank y'all so much for walking with me through these little things that come up. But once you learn the skills, y'all, you got them. They're there forever. And you can fix things, you can save yourself money, and you can help your neighbors. God bless you all. Happy Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.